Welcome to Hoops Headspace, the podcast where mental health and sports intersect. I'm your host, Jada Rich.
I'm your co-host, Tae.
For sure. So today we got the the one and only Coach Tipler. Yeah, the one and only. So right now, before we get too deep, we want you to take a moment and talk your talk. Let them know who Coach Tip is and why it's so important and big for us to have you on here.
Coach, don't hold back because this is our segment.
Yeah, this
Talk Head Talk.
Part might be a little underwhelming. I just think I'm just a regular old dude, not messing up myself. And just every day just trying to make myself a better person and find a way to, like I said earlier, leave footprints and leave something, for the family after I'm long gone. So at the end of the day, a regular old man. You know what I mean?
He being very modest, but we'll take that, Coach.
Yeah.
Being very modest, but we'll take that.
I love the modesty.
Well, I've also learned that in my old age, it's better for people to talk good about you than you talk for yourself. Because whatever is valid is the opinion of somebody else, not your own.
For sure that.
So that's that.
Yeah, so let us talk that talk. This guy right here, definitely one of my idols as far as coaching. He is and correct me if I'm wrong because I want to make sure I get these numbers right. 2-time state championship winning head coach. He is a 1-time or is it 2-time runner up?
2 times.
2-time runner up head coach. So let's make sure we put that on the books.
Girls runner up too.
Oh, don't forget about girls runner up too. Don't forget that part too.
Assistant coach, 2-time state champion.
And as an assistant coach, 2-time state champion. So you know what I'm saying? My boy got the stats, got the hardware. I used to stare at his hardware myself. You know what I'm saying?
He was a thorn in my side. I put it like he a thorn in my side.
But so, and like I was saying, but with him being an idol, I know that like when I started coaching at Ashland, when you come into town from Ripley, it's just like, their like championship thing that says, the boys won. And I kid you not, every time I bust that curve, every time I bust that curve, I would say, I'm gonna make sure I put one out there bigger than Tips. And I was like, I want them to put it like a little bit in front.
Right.
Like a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like taller. You can still see them.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? We finna up the ante.
I say this like Coach Ginn, like he's one of the ones that set that class of 97, they set the standard of Ashland basketball. I'm gonna say it was a whole bunch of good groups that came through there. But that class of 97 to bring the first one back and like have a squad that's like unreal. You know what I'm saying? Like I would say to this day, like Tusi was the point guard. I would say he was like one of the best point guards that I've seen, with the size. He was like the Penny Hardaway of Ashland. He's long, lanky, could score it, get everybody involved. You had Quinn Gillespie, like Duncan, and it was just so many different pieces. Like I can't name everybody. Wayne Jones. It was just so many pieces to that. And then Coach Ginn did the whole get everybody together. Coach Terry, man, really taught me. Like I wasn't around Ginn, but I seen him and develop a relationship with him afterwards. And but Coach Terry and Coach Godwin at Ashland, like they took me in. Like you said, I did certain things, they took me in and I would say Coach Godwin, like he was the aggressive, like didn't take nothing. Coach Terry was the same way, but in a smooth, like different way, and he had the X's and O's to go along with it, and, like, I still run his plays now that I learned in junior high, and, I just think that the lineage of people that was at Ashland prior to, led up into what the magic that we did have there, so it is, and that's one of the biggest, like, if you go, "Who's the better," like, that's the biggest talk in Ashland, "Who's the better team?" This is that. I'm like, "Man, like, we was all great in our own way." You know what I'm saying? Like, I take my hat off to '97 every single time I possibly can, like, they was a different team, they had size, they had every shooters, they had a true basketball team that had every role player that that you want, and I don't take nothing from it, and, like, that started the legacy there, as far as winning, but we had other great teams beforehand, but that finally, like, solidified, "Okay, this is a basketball school," and then, uh, Coach Godwin, taught me the stuff in junior high, like, how to, I seemed more aggressive. I was young too, so I loved it, and then, Coach Terry gave me, like, the tactful side of how you handle yourself as a coach, or how, which I would call him just upset, and he will, "Now just calm down, doc." He just that guy that just know how to just bring you down, like, and make everything, like, down to earth, and, um, he really helped me out a lot too, and, so I just think with all those pieces and all those good teams, all those great coaches that was there, I just, like I said, I just came through at the right time, and, it's nothing special that I did. uh, the only special thing was the special group came through with me from 5th to 6th grade, and it was just all organic, and everything happened, um, as it did, and, because I remember, like, stepping in for Coach Terry one time. He had to go to Chicago, and this was a playoff game to go to Jackson. We had to play Shaw, and I just remember going, and we lost, and it was like, I just felt bad because, like, here I am supposed to take over for and I didn't get it done, and he had to take care of business, and I'm supposed to take care of business for him, and it's like, that was another thing, it's like he almost knew that you was next in line, I was next in line, and, like, who else would send me off to a game to go to Jackson? Man, I think a couple times, like, and trust me with that, um, so it's like sometimes some people see more in you than you see in yourself. So I was just this nervous little cat that, was trying to do the best I could, and he already seen something that was there. And because I didn't even go to school to be a coach. I didn't that wasn't even in the the plan. I mean, it's just when Coach Godwin decided he want to retire, it's a small school. So it was like, okay, you young, you 24, you do it. So I'm like, okay, and that's been it. That was the start of it. And I really feel that like, I went into education, now of course, I quit school and started working and doing different things, and, like, my mom put me back on track, like, "Hey, this is what you said you wanted to do." So, got back in it, and, like, everything fell in place for me, and I feel like I made the right choice, because sometimes when you make the right choice, uh, I feel like sometimes some things came too easy, and, like, "Why? Wow, my first year here, I'm playing in the semifinal game as a high school coach. Like, how did this happened, we lost by 1, and I'm sitting there thinking, "I'll never make it here again." Then all of a sudden, I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm back. And it's like, I know that, like, divine intervene, like, it is because it was supposed to be, not because of how I am or how good it is. Everything lined up perfectly for me to make me look, I'll say, better than, what I actually am. You know what I'm saying? So, and your kids, like, it ain't about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmys and Joes. And if you got good players, man, they'll make you look better than what your knowledge is at the time. Because you got to think, I'm just not getting into it. So somebody had to compensate for each other. Like, where I lacked that, they picked up, and vice versa. Where I could teach them certain things, I was able to do that, and they was able to help me along where my weaknesses were. So I really appreciate that start. That start is the best I could ever. And then where all my people from, like my hometown, like really my hometown. So um, it was perfect, really. You write a book about it, right?
Like, that's that's the thing, like, it was one of them stories, like, hometown kid takes these kids not only that's, like, at the same school as him, but some of them again, family members,
Mhm.
like, legit, and they go up here and against a lot of odds, they win it all, you know what I'm saying? And we all getting behind this one team, you know what I'm saying? Just because of the beauty of the story, and like you said, you had a good roster.
Right.
You had a good roster.
I, and I do remember playing y'all, um, the girls, because I coach girls too. Man, y'all tore us up. I'm still mad. I'm mad about it. That's how you said you felt. Y'all tore. We couldn't do nothing with you. You killed us in the post, and then it was like Zeta, and that's Zeta was supposed to be with me because she started junior high. She played at Ashland. Zeta was supposed to be there with me. Super athletic. Did the high jump for me in junior high, like going to state, and just naturally could just do things. And y'all tore us up. And we was pretty good, girls, I thought. And like that was a humble pie. Like, and that was a hard thing too to coach girls and boys because whether you win or lose, you have to detach yourself from whatever it was at the time and then go right into another mode of a new game. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to compartmentalize everything quickly. And that's hard because like the one thing that always stick out in my mind, even at Pontotoc, is having both sets of team, like girls and boys, simultaneously there playing at the same level. That don't happen every often. Like Boomba does it on a regular, and I take my hat off to Mike. I talk to him like he's a very smart coach. And he's very smart. And to have two groups down there, I just thought it was the coldest thing ever. I'm playing in Jackson Coliseum with my boys, and I played to about third quarter where I see the point spread getting to like 20 plus. They got a police officer sitting outside. I jump in the police car. They drive me to like, police escort me with lights on, driving fast, get me to the Coliseum. My girl's already playing. I just jump straight in, and they both win, and we go both are playing in the finals. I think that's one story I won't forget, even though y'all tore us up. But I won't forget the story of like that. Like that's one thing that always like stood out to me. Like for real. It was special.
Yeah, see, I'm like, see now, that right there, that's that talk moment we was looking for right there. That was it.
It's like, man, you like
That was it.
you don't even get to finish the boys game.
Yeah, I don't know. The final score.
My boy got escorted like he was Nick Saban.
President, man. Come on, Tip, we waiting on you. We already out here.
Yeah,
Y'all up by 25.
Yeah, the AD was like, I got it from here. I don't think I can miss up. Go ahead, And I just jump out. And the police is waiting on me at the door, like, come on, jump on in. So we jump in, and like he turned the lights on. We shooting down 55.
Man,
like,
that's crazy.
And he gets me there. I hop out. He pulls me straight up to the front of the door. I hop out, and I just come straight out to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the floor, and I'm looking up, and Aisha
Yeah.
Brooks,
Yeah.
she was the AD and coach. And you know what I'm saying? It's like jump straight out, and like she's like, "Well, should we in the game?" Like, okay, now what we do? So now I got to flip a switch again, and we end up winning by like some few points. Like Cammy hit up some clutch free throws right at the end, and we won it. And had to play Pella Hatchie. We should have won. We was up 6 points for 2 minutes to go, so it was almost where we doubled up and won the girls and the boys at the same time. But almost doesn't count. But it was special. Like Janaya, like she went on to play at Jackson State and
yeah,
doing great right now. And so it's like one of those things like
Yeah,
everything.
she was so tough.
She was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that was another thing, like, that girls' team, like, nobody talks about that girls' team.
Yeah, and at that time, the boys roster that you had and kinda the track they were on,
True.
you know,
But
it
they was winning, like, it
the
was
storyline and everything just highlighted them a little more, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
to the public eye.
true. But they like, the girls was like
Showing up Janiyah.
they had, like it was just like the boys. They had a good point guard.
Yep,
They had a couple girls who can shoot it.
yep.
They had some bruises around the basket, like, with Demetrius Anderson and, um, Lakita Godwin, like, could get to the rim and guard you, like, they had it all, you know, and, I hate that they got overshadowed. I mean, it's like every time we talk, like those all those great and Elantra, like all those great
Yeah,
girls teams that we had that went on and played in college and
yeah.
did well. It's like,
'Cause the launcher one was Ada, right, the ICC?
yes, she went to ICC and she
Yeah,
could have won. She was just, and she just told me she just got burnt out on it at the time.
yeah,
And I think when she was getting ready to go back, you know, life happens and she started just moving on, you know.
yeah,
And Janiyah was crazy. She was supposed to be going to Northeast, and she played that last game at in the Coliseum, and Jackson State came down there and offered her right then. And that was like and I tell kids all the time now, like, you're so worried about a scholarship or an offer. I said, go to Jackson. People want winners. So go to Jackson. You can get that. That offer that you want, D1 or whatever, like, go to Jackson. That they're all there, you know. So, and I just think that was also uh, like a testimony to like all the other kids of the time now, like not knocking Northeast because we know now like you almost got to go JUCO now to like to get where you want to, especially boys because of they can get somebody 24 come in here and play, you know, but to be go here and thinking that you're going to go to Northeast and play in one game dictated your whole college career. All of a sudden she's a starter, ended up being a starter for D1 Jackson State, who went on to like play like a playoff game. They got tore up. Who was that? Who they played? It was like somebody like South Carolina. It was something like
yeah, I
It
forgot
it
who they
was
played because it's when they had,
Baylor. They had like
what is her name? What was the
it
head
was
coach? What was the
was it
AC?
Baylor? Be
Baylor.
able to go on TV like this thing come from little old Ashland and to a program that was been successful that was overlooked, and to be able to go and you're playing on national TV where everybody can see you. Um,
that was
Alantra going and winning multiple rings at ICC, and the girls was overlooked, and I just wanted to shed a little light on them. Like, come on now, let's give it up to not just the
Yeah, give them their flowers,
Give
give
them
them
their
their
flowers.
flowers.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't
for
don't
sure.
leave them out.
Yeah.
Janiyah was she was tough.
Yeah, hey, and my thing is, yeah, like he said, Elantra and them, like he had, yeah, like when he made me really think about it, they had some strong girls.
Mhm.
But another thing is we brought Tip not only for that X's and O's. You have to have a connection with your players mentally and emotionally. Um, but when it comes to like mental health with your players, what do you feel like the coach's responsibility is?
Man, sometimes the first thing is to know it, like if it is an issue, because sometimes we don't. Because again, like I said before, coaches are data driven. Like we're not there like to have sit downs and therapy sessions a lot of times, even though it turns into that once we get to know them and like truly care. Like, um, because it was an incident when a kid had moved in and he just had a hard time fitting in at first. And all it took was for me to have a few conversations on the phone with him and telling him, hey, dude, every week you got to come by my office at least once a week and we got to sit down and talk. I said, if it's nothing to talk about, we can talk 2 minutes. You can say, Coach, what's up? I'm good. You can leave. Or it can be your whole planning period, like your period off. Like we can talk. And after that, Like you got to build a connection because you want the kids to trust you, and you want to be able to trust the kid too. So you can't do that without having a um, more than just a basketball connection. It gotta go beyond just what you can do on the court because you can have the best team in the world with all the pieces, and if you don't get to know how each one of them think, or know if it is an issue, or know I can push his button this way, but I can't do that with him because he's gonna act completely different. Like I'm gonna mess him up. And it's one kid, I call him Buttermilk, right now on my team. Quietest kid ever. Don't ever get mad. It's mellow. Like you have to make him talk. And I finally figured out how to make him mad. And I was so happy. I know that sounds bad, right? I finally figured out like how to push his buttons because he's in ninth grade and he's like 6'5", long athlete, can do a lot of things, but he hasn't really got the confidence all the way there that he's got the ability, but he's young. Like he still don't understand how good he is right now. So right now I'm trying to like fast track that to get him to where he needs to be at. And you can't be that being a nice guy. So I'm like, let me figure out how to push Buttermilk's button a little bit. And I didn't think it would work, but it did. And it's just like, I'm like, man, he just so soft. I just said that. And it was just, I didn't say it in a mean way. I didn't like just dehumanize him. I just said, man, you just soft. Just watch out. Just come sit over here. He just swole up. But then I've also made it known that as soon as practice is over with and we go in that locker room, it's a different, I joke, make things a lot personal. Like they even asked me like very personal questions, like, Coach, what do you think about this? And like, I think that the kids also have to know that you're human because a lot of coaches try to portray this persona of I'm perfect. I'm not like I don't mess up. Like, and I tell my kids like if I mess, I'll tell them exactly like, look, I'm flawed. I mess up in this way. Like I've had heart to hearts with them, like on my end where I messed up, or how I was at one time, or how I've done things that wasn't not necessarily proud of, and what it got me. And I think once the kids can see like, well, okay, he's human, he's not, because sometimes you might not be trying to come off a certain way, but you can come out of like I'm Mr. Perfect, and I think the kids need to know that you're just like them. Like we're all flawed, we all. Now it's sometimes I come out, look, y'all, I'm down today, like. I need y'all help. Y'all gotta help me. Like, help me get out this slump. Y'all gotta pick me up. So it's not like I'm so strong that, or I'm so with it that I'm always about their mental side of it, or their mental health. Like sometimes they had to help me with mine. Like we all have personal and life things that happen with us. And all coaches not going there every day and with a plan of this is how we feel. Like we gotta condition ourselves to feel that way. But sometimes we cannot get out of it. And those kids will make it to where like they'll brighten your day. They'll make things like one little thing can like turn your whole like, all right, I'm better now. I lost my daughter when she was 6 months old, and I was just, it still affects me now. But when I was coaching girls, it all of a sudden just clicked one day. Man, I got 20 girls right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I lost my daughter, like it's my blood daughter, but I got 20 daughters right here in front of me that, what I'm saying, that I'm a part of their lives. And I treated them as such, you know what I'm saying? Because the way you coach boys, the way you coach girls, is gonna be a little bit different. With boys, you coach pride. With girls, you coach emotion. Young ladies are emotional. Keep, and it's worried about what they look like. You gotta break that. You gotta break the pride and ego of, hey, can you win 1 against 5? And cause how many times have you heard a young man say, yeah, we lost, but I had 25.
Oh my goodness.
Woo!
Oh my
But you
goodness.
lost, like that 25 is negated.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good that you score 25, but hey, every time you come, you gotta give me 5. Give me 5, man. Come here. Dap it. All right, man, I'ma holler at you, all right?
I'm almost done.
Tell him peace. All right.
We're gonna have to get Easton like a director's headset.
So
Get him a director's headset.
yeah.
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 Well, he said we gotta get him a director's headset.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Hey.
tough with the fro and everything. He gonna look just
Hey,
like one.
hey, just go ahead. Just change the whole. Like, every time is have a different outfit, like a
Yeah.
different little costume.
Yeah.
So-
But so when it comes to like the different ages, do you think that when you deal with their mental health or you have different conversations with them and stuff, do you feel like that plays a factor?
It does. Being data driven again. There's a kid on my team. He started as a ninth grader. But we talking about like 6'3", 6'2", 200 pounds. You look at him, it's a big cut up young man. He's in 10th grade now. And I have to like remember that he's in the 10th grade because I'm expecting him to think a certain way or react a certain way to certain things. And I have to like stop and like tell myself that you have to explain this to him. Like you expecting him to understand this when he's smart and he understands a lot, but the way he might interpret what you're saying or what you want out of him is not what you're thinking in my 45-year-old head. So he's thinking, man, coach is just on me about like, what do I do? Like, and the whole time I'm thinking like, why is he not getting it? Like, and it's a disconnect, and you have to figure out like, okay, but what did you think when I asked you? Like, I call him in the office, 'cause they all come into the locker room during that break at lunch, and I'm like, what did you think I meant yesterday when I said you did this? I don't know, but I went back and watched the film, and I understand now what you were saying. Or, no, I don't know, coach. What did you mean? So I get a chance to like tell him how I think to assist to go along with his, because he's smart. And he gets a high basketball IQ, and he works hard. And sometimes I have to break down like, okay, you think this way. What about your teammates? What you think they think? What you think how I think? No, you have to make some young men, or in this case, just somebody that's younger, that's playing up to, with older kids, more aware that it's just more what they do just don't affect just you. So it's other people that if you do certain things, it's going to be like a snowball effect to what goes along with it. So I try to talk with this individuals like one-on-one. I think it's more important. Like at one time I was just big about just putting you on blast in front of everybody, no matter who it was. And I had to finally understand, yeah, that's cool sometimes, but sometimes you need to like bring them in. Like you can't get somebody to build trust with you if all you do is like, and I'm like, if looking back, I wish I could take some years back, because back in the day, it wasn't no talking in my office because I done said whatever I had to say, no matter how brutal it was, right then. And I wish I could like take some of that back, but again, I'm also still trying to figure it out too.
But coming from a player that got coached by like coaches in our era,
Mhm.
y'all were like stern and all that, like firm about what I say is what I say.
Yeah,
But I want to give you your flowers for changing like their viewpoint,
right.
because that like
I appreciate that.
yeah, because like that's big. Because we be on coaches, you like,
And that's the crazy thing.
you know what I'm saying? So
It was like I was a tyrant. I was a dictator, and it was like, wherever you met, like, no, your mom, wherever you mess up at, that's where I'm gonna get you at, And then so it was like I would just like getting on the kids, like, and sometimes I wouldn't understand that it's cool to do that, but sometimes I need to like you got to get to them, because what you do sometimes is put up a barrier or a wall, or with young men, you gonna do that in front of my friend. Like now they gotta like, who's gonna be the top dog? Like so
yeah, it's
now
the alpha male
it's a
thing.
contest thing. Like I gotta prove like you're not gonna outdo me. Like and so sometimes you can create a drama or a disconnect when and they don't have to be. Like it's a time and place for everything. Like, you still might have to say something to them in front of everybody because sometimes everybody do need to hear what's going on. But it's also one of those things where you got to come in and be personal and bring them in and say, hey, like, man, what? My favorite line is, man, what's going on, man? And a lot of times you'd be amazed just by me saying what's going on. They can spill out a bunch, and and then I can kind of maneuver around that and get an understanding. Like, okay, that makes sense. The reason why he felt this way, or I thought you said this. You know how let's say you was in practice and there's something going on, you kind of mumble to yourself. And me, I can get. Well, I'm man enough. If you can say it out loud. Say it out loud. So if you got something to say, sir, this is your time. Say it. And it's kind of the kid is kind of like, whoa, Now I've created a hostile environment. So now the kid is like, I ain't said nothing, or the whole, and I can't stand that.
Is a coach, is it y'all pet peeve?
I can't do it.
Yeah, mine is like he said, when you do that, and then after that, if you mumble again,
Yeah.
and I just told you this is you have the floor. You have the floor, you smacked your lips like you didn't want the floor and then continue to mumble? Yeah, man, come on now.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So and I remember this happened this last week. I was getting on that we weren't meeting goals, so we was running because we didn't meet the goals. And one of the kids said something. When I got a kid that's 6'9", 250. And of course on the sprints and stuff, he's not gonna be the fastest, but he can move. And he wasn't making the time. And I seen one of the kids like moving his mouth. And I'm like, how dog y'all always want to get, I done went to one of my tyrants. And he kind of mumbled something else. I'm like, I'll tell you what, since we got so much to say, that must mean we got more energy. Let's knock the time down. So we're gonna get a suicide in 26 seconds now. We run him in 26. So, and then after that, we got in the huddle. He's like, Coach, can I say something? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, and that's another thing. Once I'm done with something, I'm done with it. I was like, yeah, go ahead. I wasn't mumbling that at you. I was telling John, I was trying to like inspire him. I was telling him he could do it. I'm like, well, my bad.
That my bad don't take away that I just ran these super.
Yeah, it's too late now. We're gonna run 32. You talking about I said, no, my bad. I thought so, but next time, instead of like I say express that. Like everybody can talk. Like we young men, as young men, we should be able to say what we need to. Like, should anybody no matter what the circumstances is, make you just carry down to where you don't say like voice, like lose your voice. Like still say what you gotta say. And I'm big on that. Like I said, I'm fine with you saying what you gotta say if you can stand by it. But I'm gonna say what I gotta say. So and in the grand scheme of things, like what I say still gotta like got a rule. So they can say what they want to, but if I can take what you're saying, I'm big on if I can take what you're saying, you gotta be able to take what I'm saying. But they do well with it. And like I said, I got ninth and 10th graders, and now it's 10th and 11th graders. So they're getting it a little bit better now. And you can do different little tactics. So I was doing stuff like, I always tag stuff on my social media with the basketball team, like gold blooded. Yeah. Yeah, gold blooded. So it's like what we mean by that is like if you're gold blooded, it's like you're royal, like you're special. Like so we kind of twist that like our practice jerseys are black and gold. And I used to have like the first squad or whatever, like the tops. You know how you got two different groups. They will always be black. And I said, you know what, since we're gold blooded, like let's change the dynamic. Who all's bought in is who I'm gonna tell to turn into gold. So it wasn't a gold group or a black group. It turned into like who's bought in and who's not. So if you got a different color other than gold, that means you haven't fully bought into what we're trying to do. So I flipped it and did that aspect of it. Now when we scrimmage, we still gonna flip stuff the other way. But starting all our drills, if you don't have gold on, you feeling away because like, okay, majority of the team has on gold. Why, what do I need to do? And sometimes that sparks conversation like, Coach, I'm like, am I close? I like, don't ask. But you can ask me what you can do to, like, what I'm saying, to work on this, that. Like, I said, if you're bought in to something, you don't have to ask what you need to do. You just naturally fall in line. It's one kid that's in the ninth grade. I think he's gonna be really special. I do. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's gonna be really special. And I have been probably hard on him, and he has taken it like the best. I haven't even gave him. It's like the season start like what next week. The jamboree, November the 1st. We start the first. No, our jamboree, and it's like I still haven't gave him a gold jersey. He's earned it a long time ago. But the reason why I didn't give it to him, I was getting ready to give it to him. I said, "I'm gonna ask you one thing." And I said his name. He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Do you think you've earned the your gold jersey?" And he said, "No, sir, not yet." I said, "Well, okay, I'm gonna take your word on it because you would know more than I do. Like it's something that you might think that it's not. No, this is not on my opinion. Maybe this is you feeling like you need to do more." And he's very hard on himself, and I think that he's gonna be special by the time he's a senior, like very special. I do. He's like right now he's a freshman. He's like 6'1". I'm gonna have him like at point guard though.
Mm.
He's gonna be able to play.
Got a big team.
No, the biggest teams, man. I wish you could have seen like when I first said we had Rock Robinson, 6'6", Joe Hayes Austin, 6'6", 6'7", somewhere around there. Then we had Gavin was there. He was 6'6", 6'7". Then we had we called him Eddie Nick. He was another like 6'5", 6'6" guy. Then we had a small guard. So we had but everybody could run. And so it wasn't like a goofy, like we was athletic and we still played the same style that we always did. And like that was the biggest team that I had. And that was fun, like to me, because that's my first guy. And like it transformed to being like we run sets. They was good at running sets. Like you can teach them a set. They was great at it. But then to teach them how to play fast, 'cause I was like teaching them just like when we're running and passing, and they wanted to come to a jump stop with everything. I'm like, look, guys, we're going, we can't jump stop it. Like, it's good to have that, but can you pass on the run? Like, I had to teach them, like most kids, you teach them how to jump stop. And in this instance, I'll teach them how to pass on the run. And that was fun because to change a whole style of play that they were used to, and could it be successful? And it did for the time being. But I've also had to do the opposite where when like Jordan Blackman was there a couple years ago, like the last 2 years, like I've always been a man to man type, and all of a sudden we're playing 2-3 zones and doing all these tricks and stuff out of it and trying to slow it up. And we're not shooting three as much. We're trying to get to no layups. We want to shoot 20 plus free throws to ensure that we win. And I'm just glad that I'm older. It happened when I was older because if I was younger, I'd probably just try to stick to the same program and just go and then blame it all on them and say, why are we not getting it when we got to adjust to what we have? And that's a hard thing to do too when something has worked so long to have to adjust to do something different than that. So that was fun to an extent, but it was fun because we had kids that bought in. Like I think I get more gratitude out of what makes me happy is like when I know that I got a group of guys that has my back. And I talked about that today in practice before we left. I said, man, I got y'all back. I need y'all to have mine too. Like no matter who it is. And I said, because it's been times, it might be somebody in the stands talking crazy. Guess who's gonna come to bat? And once you get that dynamic, I'm not gonna say everything, a lot of things fall in place. Cause a lot of times mentally, all of us want somebody that we feel like got us. You don't always want to feel like you're on the island at all times. And, I played basketball and I wasn't a starter. I didn't get much playing time, but everybody want that feeling of they're just as important. Then, you're just not there, you know. So I try my best to like spread it around. No, you can't be everything for everybody, but I try my best to spread everything around and not I don't have favorites, but to not make it look like, all he worried about is this kid here or this group. And it's like when D'Anthony played for me, people like, what sets do you run for him? I said, I do not have a set for him. I only had one set for him. That's when they do like the boxing one type stuff. That was it because it's to free him up because you're trying to take something out. Well, and he was like, I just make him a decoy or whatever. But I learned that instead of running sets that's designed for one person, run sets that has looks and opportunities for everybody's strong suits. So you might take this shooter away, but here comes a backdoor cut. Then here comes another person that likes to come from the left to the right, swing for this put like so. I try to add a whole bunch of things that's quick hitters, but it has 5 different options, and then we can go into our continuity offense. So it don't stop. So you stop all 5 of those things, but we're still moving after that. And I think that's one thing that's helped us along the way. And I think it's this also has the kids keep the kid from standing around. Because how many times have you ran a set? And you know this, and I've seen it with my guys sometimes. They run a set and it don't work, and they kind of looking back like, well, what now? Right? So now it's not to call something else. So it's like, we know that if we run this, we run it all the way through and we go directly into our continuity offense or one of them. We'll have a designated one for whatever play. So, okay, you stop the initial quick hitters, but now we're into this playing basketball now. So this group is learning that now. Like I said, 9th and 10th graders playing last year. Now they're 10th, 11th. Now they understand the concept of it a little bit more. So we'll see how much so here pretty soon. But yeah, they understand the concept of it.
So, as far as you establishing these cultures that you've established as a coach when it comes to your teams, have you ever had a moment that you can pinpoint where you had a player that was struggling mentally and you knew it, whether that was burnout or, like you said earlier, in a personal situation?
If I think if you are a certain way with them and open with them from the beginning, you don't have to change how you handle it. It becomes a norm of this is how we do things. Um, you'll be amazed at how much a call after practice or after hours or let's go fishing or hey man, come here, holler at me. Like even a hug. Like, it's not masculine to hug and to be like even a hug, because sometimes they may not get who knows what they get at home. Speaking of hugs, come here. Can I have a hug? Can I get one? You gonna give me one? Appreciate it. Can you give me some too? I didn't think so. But I gave you a hug, so pride of ego, boys. All right, over or under, how many times he gonna say I love you before the rest of this over with? Plus 10 or under 10?
Listen, I'm going over to that's
We're already about 4, right?
yeah, that my dog,
I say
man.
it's
For sure.
easily
They're
plus
my
10.
dog.
It's easily plus 10.
For sure.
Easily plus 10.
But yeah, and I think that once you have that open communication with your kids from jumping and like, just do something extra. Like, it don't have to be much. Like a hug, like grab his neck, like, what's going on with you, man? And of course they go, nothing. But if you go in there and get them and close the door, like, man, talk to me. I can't help you unless you allow me to like had those type of conversations. Of course, a lot of coaches do that, but it's not something that we get a chance to sit around and talk about. But if you're gonna be a coach that because you gotta think about it, you still remember your coach from high school, at a collegiate level, or whatever level you played on. Like you're gonna remember how they treated you versus uh, wins and losses a lot of times. and especially when it's time that you're struggling and, they didn't allow you to have that, or where they didn't know
Mhm.
how to handle that, you know? And another thing that I do, I let them know when I'm struggling. At certain times of the year, like I said, with my daughter, I let them know, "Hey, today's my daughter's birthday. I'm struggling. I need you." I tell them that. So I think a lot of times you gotta be vulnerable yourself and show that somebody that don't show very much emotion or somebody that's always aggressive and like demanding so much out that they have weak times themselves. So I can say, "Hey, I need you today, y'all. Like I've had a rough one, and this is why. This is I got this and this going on. I need y'all to help me. We got you. We got you, coach. You'd be amazed. Even back from Ashland, like the kids were like, we're playing for you tonight, coach."
Hey, cause I was just finna say, um, in which I built some strong bonds with a lot of them there, but and I gotta get myself together before I even go. Before I even say it.
Oh, go ahead.
When I got the opportunity at Ashland, I didn't just go because it was an opportunity for a first job. I could have went to Ripley with Coach Brown and just worked under him till he left it. I had options. Um, but after losing Quavy, for me, when Quavy left Ripley and he left Blue Mountain and he went to Ashland, for me, I watched him go. eh, I watched him change. Let me put it that way. I watched him change, and some of those changes that occurred while he was at Ashland that weren't the best followed him when he left. And I think some of those things kind of played a factor in him not being here now. Um, and so I feel like I had an opportunity to not be, I mean, I was his cousin, but we both young. You know what I'm saying? Some struggles that I noticed that he had been having internally, I, I couldn't help with at the time. And so I felt like in my adult years, I could go there and maybe prevent whatever happened with him. And I've always been open with my kids about that. They know that he's tatted right here. They know. Um, and even when it comes to like those guys that are on that team, like that's how close knit they are. Those guys, when I got to Ashland, all his teammates embraced me just simply off the fact that we was tied, and they felt like because you tied to him, we tied to you too. And I want to give them that. But when it comes to you building that bond and being open with them, I've always been open with them about him. And we had my first year's head there with the girls. We had a playoff game at West Union on his birthday, and they had they were they had told me that they wanted me to get out the locker room so they can get their minds right and stuff. And when we got in the huddle right before the game, we normally, break down and stuff. And they decided to tribute that huddle to him and for me. And kid you not, I had to walk the baseline for a second because I'm like, we finna start the game. Can't be out here,
Right.
emotional. Um, but again, for us to have that bond and for them to care about me to that extent because I didn't have to, is very special. And you really don't know as a coach how much you need them until you need them.
They changed me.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not like I said again, I'm not perfect, but I was living a different lifestyle, and by coaching, I knew that they was watching me a little bit differently and thought more of me than if I thought of myself. And I know that I can't, like, we all struggle with whatever we struggle with, but it made me want to do things a little bit differently for them. They wanted me to, I had kids calling me talking about, banking and like stuff. They out of school and, I'm thinking, what made you think of me? As far as like, should you get this checking account or banking account or whatever, or kids still having group chats like with me.
I wish I had that type of bond with my coach, which me and Coach Mason, we had a good relationship, but like at times it was times where I feel like I couldn't go to him because you not gonna we not gonna relate.
And very well, like he has some very good teams. Very like what's that Ismail?
Ishmael,
Like I he was one of my favorites. I ain't gonna lie to you.
he don't get enough credit.
Ismail, like, he was like the wild card
He
that
was very hard to prepare.
I didn't know what he like. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's gonna come up in a fast break, pull up, do it. Like he wouldn't know. He didn't have a like this governor of like the confidence of whatever he did was there. So he didn't have like you try to look for tendencies, and
Just
and it wasn't any really,
and trust me, I know because like I had to guard that man, and I was like I never really could figure him out because like as a defender, how I was, I try to pick up on rhythms,
Right.
tempos, and like
He was
he
just
had like
he just sporadic.
his change of tempo was like so hard to like read and predict.
Yes. Man, tough. Tough.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Ooh, I love when people put Tay in the hot seat.
Why do you think you couldn't relate with it, coach? Or did you give him a chance to? Or you just feel in your mind that, he's not gonna understand it. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna say anything.
Uh,
And I like no, I
at
like Mason
times,
now, so don't get too
yeah, no, like no, me and Coach, we
Right.
good. It was just like I just feel like I put it like this: it would have been easier for me to open up to you than it would be to him.
Okay.
And that's in his defense, that's not fair to him. But like,
But it's reality.
it's reality. Just especially
Yeah.
coming from like a black man, it's easier
Yeah.
for me to come talk to you about something because
Well, I'm gonna say this, um, I'm in a very diverse situation in coaching. Just think before I've only coached one white kid before I went to Pontotoc. Um, Blake, think he stays around here somewhere now, and going to Pontotoc where now is diversity everywhere, and it was crazy. I had one man say, I knew you could coach some black kids, but I didn't know if you can coach a white one.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What do you mean?
I didn't understand that. There was nobody in the community.
Yeah,
But it
you
was just
didn't
like
firmly grasp it.
it was just like, it was somebody from Tippah County, and they were just like
Yeah.
a basketball enthusiast.
And that's the thing though, Tip. That's why you gotta understand where me and Tay coming from, because like I'll say, even to attest to what Tay saying, like with Coach Banks, even though we were successful as far as X's and O's and stuff like that, a like a bond, you know what I'm saying? Like a bond, like what you say with like that you had with Tip and them, you know what I'm saying, to that extent. No. You know what I'm saying? And when it come to Coach Bates, I think her thing is she was so analytical like you. She was so data driven. And by the time she got me, I came her year off that championship.
Right.
I think with her, it wasn't that concept. She was just so goal driven
Space. Yeah.
that's what our relationship was. It was a business relationship. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't really build a off the court bond. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think it's possible now that you're coaching to get a bond with every single player on your team?
That's a good
A bond in general or a strong one?
Just in general. 'Cause you think you looking at, let's say my team is 25 on there.
Yeah, like, now, I don't see you being able to build a bond with all of them because, like I'm saying, I'm sure that somebody else's story as far as Coach Bates is probably different than mine, you know?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's some stories out there like, "Nah, I was a dream killer." It's
You
all
know?
you're always gonna be the villain in
Yeah,
somebody's
yeah,
story at
in
some
which
point.
my biggest thing is I just think for me and Tay, like, it wasn't necessarily our issue with the coach in general, and if we lying, we dying. Cause we discussed this, when it comes to, like, white people in Tipper County, while you on that roster, they love you. They adore you. The moment you aren't, they'll walk past you like you some wind. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess I'm gonna give you some advice on that. At 45 years old, you gotta understand that the same people that looked at you on this roster, a certain way, they're performance based too. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes, interpretation is everything. I, I wasn't there. I can't tell you what the experiences was or how it was, or I can't tell you what they're thinking. But I've learned in high school sports, it's about right now, who's here right now. Now, well, I say, should anyone walk past anybody and act like that doesn't exist when you done broke your back before? No, I don't think that's right. No matter white, black, purple, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just, that's not a very humane thing to do. Because everybody wants to feel they have a place, especially if you've been in an organization. You you don't want to just get passed up when. But we used to talk all the time. But I'm gonna tell you this: I don't have. It's just not you. That's life, and it doesn't have a color, creed, a culture that goes along with it. The older you get, the more you'll see people. Um, sometimes it's about what you can do for them at the time, or what you're doing at the time. Because just like I know, um, if your job see fit that they don't need you anymore, they don't have to give you a rhyme or reason why they don't want you there or why they're not. They don't have to talk about it. They're gonna say, "Well, your services here are no longer needed," and you just have to like it or love it, really. And I learned in life that, man, we all want acceptance or a sense of validation of what we done, and then I think that's one reason why I never gave myself too much credit, because I know that people are always looking for the next thing. It ain't what you did yesterday, it's what you're gonna do and what you're doing now. So that's another reason, I guess, why I keep myself busy, and, like, I shouldn't move this way, but, like, my whole MO has, like, been, like, fear of failure has what made me want to succeed, and it should just been I'm succeeding because, but, um, it was more so to seek approval from certain people. I'm talking like a man going through his 30s, and it's to do, whether it's a father figure in your life, like sometimes you just want to be seen. And here I am in my 30s, wanting this certain man just to acknowledge that.
When it comes to you living off of that fear of failure, when it comes to your players, how do you teach them not to live on that same mindset as far as fear of failure, or do you want them to?
No, I don't. Um, I can tell you, like, one of my pregame speeches is that shared several times in big moments is, there's a couple things that go on in life that we can feel, can't touch it. It can affect us, and it's the whole fear or faith. And I try to gear them more towards having the faith to be able to do everything that they possibly can, and then to go through the same things that I mentally put myself. That's what I put myself through, and I don't want them to operate out of the same headspace that I do. That has come from me being younger, and like I said, I wouldn't. I've never been the star athlete. Never, and even when I played football, like I was just play my role. I wasn't the one catching the touchdowns and doing all these things. And I didn't care as far as like I didn't mind playing my role. Like I was just happy to be able to participate. But the sport that I'm actually coaching, like I was on the bench. Like I knew I had certain attributes I was good at, but um, I never had the feeling of this is what it feel like to play on this night or it's game day. 'Cause I knew what was going on. I might have snuff some Skittles in. I might be eating Skittles on the bench.
Jada, don't play. You been a star,
Hey,
yo.
you might think I'm lying. One time I had nachos. I had got a whole order of nacho. The coach didn't even know it.
Just down there going.
Man, I'm going crazy. A whole one. I ate the whole thing.
What'd you do? He was like, hey, Tip, I need you in.
What are you gonna say? I'm like, what are you gonna say? I'm not putting you in. Well, sure, I guess I can finish these. You know what I'm saying? They here. For real, I had somebody, man. I like, hey, you going to concession stand? Yeah, give me some nachos. I had those joints. Like I was down at the end, so there was somebody between. I put them in the middle. Like man, I tore them things up. I'm talking about. And he didn't even notice. 'Cause I knew I wouldn't get in, so it wasn't one of them situations where the coach looked down. I know it wasn't gonna be me, so I was safe. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want my kids to operate out of fear. Whether it's my kids or my basketball kids, because it's not fun. from one, it's not fun at all. As you get older, you understand a lot of things differently, a different outlook on it. And the older can mean this maturity wise. It don't mean a number. And you look at things and you look back, man, because even with me having the fear of failure and having my issues, like I'm still gonna try to have the most positive outlook on everything. It's like I told you, I'm supposed to win every game I play. And I learned that like negative thoughts manifest negative results. So I try to like replace them now with a lot more. It's certain things like it's almost like a ritual, man. It's crazy. It's like different things that I do before a game to put like some type of positive energy around me. I read my Bible. I got a certain scripture I've been reading.
He read my notes over here. I'm telling you, he read them.
I've been reading the same scripture I handwritten since I was at Ashland. I got it in my Bible. I read my devotional of the day, and then I read that same scripture about being James, what 5 and 6. Long story short, without quoting the whole thing, it's pretty much when you ask God for wisdom, He's not going to deter you. He's going to give it to you, but you can't doubt it once you ask for it. It's like being in the wind blown, and so I take that and put that into my coaching aspect of like, give me the wisdom that I need for this game, and let me be sure. And I'm like, whether it's right or wrong, I got to stand on whatever decision that is. So that's the things that I do like before game, and I always go in, and this is one of the things I tell my boys: we can go out here, we can be the hammer, or we can be the nail. Like, which one you want to be? You want to be the one that getting drove into the ground, or you going to want to, or you going to be doing the driving? So, uh, I try to put in like I think that's one thing that I'm good at, like giving people like the ultimate confidence, like probably more so than their ability level is in some cases, because I think that confidence can trump a lot of ability at times.
Do you think your role as a player when you played as far as, um, not being that star player, do you feel like that is kinda why you're
I do.
so, pro building confident?
Yeah, I think it is because it's like I know what it feels like to want to be. I used to come home and cry. You know what I'm saying? I would come home and cry, man. I ain't playing, mama. Golly, what. So I think that I'm empathetic with the kids that it's not a thing like wow, this superstar and this. I don't care what you say. You can be a superstar. You cannot empathize with this kid that's sitting on the end of the bench that's not going to play. You can't.
You hear that, Jada?
What, Tay?
Repeat it, 'cause she ain't hear you.
I think she heard it. But it's
I
no,
heard it, Tay.
it's no way. There's no way.
And this is my thing, bro.
And the
If
feeling
it
that you get because this thing, you went out there every night, whether you played good or bad.
damn, Tip linked up.
You got the chance. You got the
Yeah.
chance to no matter how you felt,
Yeah,
whether you felt like it or not, whether you felt good.
yeah,
It was time when you was sick
yeah,
and
yeah.
and you know that
I
you
had a
couldn't
flu
go
game like
and
Jordan.
let's go ahead and let's dope you up. Let's lay you down. You ain't
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
practice today. But
yeah.
this other person that's at the end of the bench, they still got, you get sick,
It's
you
still
want
flu
to.
season for them. Yeah,
Right. You get sick, you want to. You better, you better get together or you just watch out.
yeah.
But here you are, like, you see the red carpet being rolled out for the players that mean something.
Mhm.
And here you are. I never forget, man. One time just an example of I was on like I said, I didn't play. So I was on the little practice squad, right? So it's getting ready to be a game. So we're trying to get different looks. So the team was ready to play like to do a 1-3-1. I was at the top of the 1-3-1. I sprained my ankle. I tell my it blew up instantly. Big. The coach didn't even tell me, hey, go have a seat. He just left me at the top of the 1-3-1. I'm out there making the ugly faces looking like Eddie Murphy running. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to trap. Guess what he did? You gotta get over that quicker. Nah, he's still like, and I'm like, man, you see me roll my ankle. Like I didn't even say anything.
No, he needs you to emulate this good 1-3-1 so we can.
This ain't how this 1-3-1 looked on film. Like you gotta get over it quicker, Tipler.
Well,
Like,
I could have if my ankle wasn't as big as a
hey,
rhinoceros.
it was crazy. Like all my friends laughing the whole time. I'm like, man, I'm dying. You know what I'm saying? But it's like whatever I did, I knew that I didn't want to quit because I feel like if I quit, there was gonna be my time and somebody else was gonna get my chance. I've always had that in me. Like nobody else is gonna get my chance. I'm gonna ride this out to the end and see how it turn. But I'm not gonna quit and all of a sudden somebody else get to start a play by happen chance, like somebody get hurt or whatever. Like that's not gonna happen. And you've never thought about you getting this. Like you can say, it's been people that walk past me that don't speak now, and then, this, that, and the other. And not one time have you thought about this person that's at the end of the bench, watch you not have to practice for whatever reason. You could have made it up. I don't feel like it. I'm gonna say my ankle hurt today. And oh well, you just gonna take the day off and we're gonna get you ready. We got a game in 2 days, like we need you to get okay.
Okay, well now, well first I'm gonna respond to that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that my thing is, in which Tay know, I apologize to most of my teammates.
He said, oh, so I missed that.
Yeah. You gotta go
I'm
back
going
and catch up. Yeah.
I'm definitely going
Yeah,
back.
Yeah.
So
She did. I give her that. She
yeah,
did.
I did
I give her that.
apologize because I like we were discussing with coaches. You have some teammates that say I was a good one. You have some that may say something different. Um, and I gave Tay an example. I was like, one time I was opening the post and I had a teammate shoot a three, and she made the three, and that's beautiful. But I was like, hey, the next time, because the rule is if you see my jersey number,
give it to him.
give it to me. And I believe you saw my jersey number before you shot that. So
Right.
next time, give it up.
Right.
But thinking back on that, that's probably one of my biggest things I regret as a teammate. Not as far as me demanding the ball, but as far as
The tact of how you did it.
yeah, and me approaching you like that as a teammate, you know what I'm saying? And when it come to the red carpet stuff y'all talk about or the treatment,
You have never been an other. Never
I
in
have. I told you when I was in
Yes,
college.
I was an other from 9th to 10th.
Wow.
Most
kids are from 9th to 10th.
No,
You see what I'm saying? He trying to pour me.
but no,
Yeah.
I earned my spot.
What did you think
about this?
What do you think I did? Come on now. You know the roster. You know the roster. What do you think I just walked up there?
Man, I had to ask.
How did I walk up there?
Can I play JV as a senior? Just so I can just.
See there? You see what I'm saying? You need to count your blessings.
You didn't have to do that.
You need
That's
to
swallowing a lot of pride.
see, count your
But
blessings. Count.
I did
You're not
miss half my
counting them.
senior season though, so
You're not counting. See how you still trying
yeah.
to. You
But
still
still,
trying
that
to.
season would have been there for you too. Wasn't for other things.
Mm.
Yeah. See, you trying to.
But you know,
But my
But I
thing
do
now.
thi-
But see now about the carpet thing, y'all. My thing is though, and now I'm coming back to you as far as like us coaching. Like we got to be real here, because one thing we argue about when it comes to the game though, like the rules. The rules say to win the game, I have to have more points on the board
Right.
than you got.
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, boom.
We're agreeing on it.
Okay,
we're
so
together.
far we're on the same page.
Right.
Okay. I have these players that can produce those points
Correct.
to win those games.
Correct.
They gotta play. That's it.
I'm gonna let her get her.
No, I'm saying
This is
that's
where me and her.
that's
clash.
it. So my thing is, so let's go back when really you've had so many stacked rosters, you could just go any, meeny, miny, mo. So you could just pick whichever one you want to go to. But and again, also kind of take your mind off that too, because you did have a stacked roster, so you had some options. But let's think to us normal coaches that don't have 13 options, that they bench ain't as deep.
I'm a normal coach, trust me.
But you know what I'm saying? And like you said, in moments where you do that double take, where you need a sub
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have one.
Yeah.
When it comes to that treatment, it's kind of valid though, because if you think to a roster that you had where you don't have too many scores, I mean, yeah, I got some great defenders, I got some good rebounders and all that. And you know, for some of my great defenders and some of my great rebounders, that's great. But them babies couldn't get that rebound and push that thing on the floor and make a layup if I just begged for it to happen. You gotta have scores. They gotta be healthy. They gotta be well taken. I'm not gonna say pampered. No, not treated differently. But to go out there and give you the points at the end of the day to win these games, they got to be at that peak shape. You know what I'm saying?
Differently?
No. Not treated differently. They have to be well maintained.
Okay.
And when it comes to the bench players, I feel like they should be the same thing. Because if you do lose that main scorer, in some ways they got to come in and make up a difference here. But it's not as urgent for them to be as well maintained, because
It's not gonna matter.
it's if you did have the flu,
And
if you did sprain your ankle,
guess
if
what?
you did have some bad grades,
Guess what? I just said it doesn't matter, which translates to they don't matter.
Hmm.
And what I've collected and done, I don't care who you are. If you too hurt to do this, it's the next person. If you can't do this the way I need you to do this, because you said you were sick. Now I've done things like even, oh, you said you were sick, bring me a doctor's excuse.
I'm not saying I disagree with
I've
that.
I've had people that gave me Rod Reeves
Oh, yeah, I already know. I already know where you're going
brought
with
me a
this.
fake. He printed one offline. Like, cause I said, Rod, if you don't bring me a doctor's excuse, you're not gonna play. I'm gonna bring you one. Then he trying to make me feel bad. He like, here, I'm like, man, I was on him hard, and he really had one. But I didn't use how you get them, you throw them away or you file them. I just put this. I just put it on my desk and I just left it. And it was one night after the game. I looked at it. I was like, let me Google. I was getting ready to put my stuff in Max Prep. I just Googled it, and Google Maps pulled up, and it was like a street, in the woods, like this address. It wasn't no houses or nothing. I like, you know what? So I typed in, I Googled fake Dr. Hughes, and the same exact one pulled up. And I still punished him. The hardest job, and one of the most important things we have to do as coaches is it's easy to maintain and make sure our best players are at a certain level. But that best player got to feel like that ball can bounce without him.
And that's my thing. I don't. That's where me and him
But this,
have the big argument at
No,
because he uno
let me
momento,
let
uno
me
momento, uno momento. He feels like that's where I disagree.
Mm.
I don't disagree there. Even when it comes to coaching, it's a level playing field as far as treatment. Even with the contract you gave me to go by, I even added a part where we had a tier sheet. So, for example, if it was a tier 1 offense, this is your punishment, and that's no matter who you are. Tier 2 is this.
yeah,
You see what I'm
you're
saying?
gonna do that, but some coaches get blinded by winning so much that they'll risk or bend the rule a little bit
Yeah.
to cater to that player so that they can.
But see, for me, I'd rather lose.
Yeah, well, I hope that that's the case
Yeah,
because
I'd rather lose because I know that some of the things that I got within me from that score mentality from being that player were wrong and don't need to
and I'm
transition to
and
coaching.
I'm just gonna ask you this, like say this too. You knew when you was BSing and you knew what you could do and still play. I didn't know that feeling, but you do. So you have a whole different insight on, okay, this is my starter and how to regulate that, you know, and because I've done some wicked stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you this. So, do you feel like due to you being due to you
Eat
having that
nachos.
different viewpoint
I
that
think it helped.
like
I think it helped.
you but do you feel like you kind of come at your starters and stuff a little differently
No,
because of that?
because I know what the banter was like in the locker room. I knew who was lying, who wasn't about injuries. I knew who was, so I knew all the tricks of the trade of what this person is doing. So I'm not going to take it out on them because they're a starter. And but at the same time, I know what to look for because I was at the bottom. I seen like who was for real and who wasn't. And the trick is to make that player the trick is to make that player think that, not even think that, understand that um the buying in part, and also like also be empathetic of everybody around them. Cause I got this boy named Big Baby. I didn't play him a whole year, not because he wasn't good enough, because he didn't want to comply to certain things that that we wanted, and he probably could have been starters at times. It might be like even I had to buy into this year to where we got like a, I know it's gonna sound like we're just some superstar team. We might get tore up every game, but we got a small lineup. We got a big lineup. So I had to make him buy into like, hey, we got a small lineup. You're not going to start because this is what we're doing out of that, and it's not going to be conducive to what you're doing. When you get even your first five or your main producers to act as the lowest five, that's when you won as a coach. I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make or trying to get to. Um, but you and the catch to that is like your first five still all gotta have that arrogance that they are that person to get it done. And he's coming from so I'm side with him for a little bit. And the reason why I say that because he's a point guard and he had to get everybody else involved and not really worry about himself as much.
Tip, please. Tip, please. Before
And
you
I
go ahead.
and I and
Please.
I
Go ahead. Go
Go
Please.
ahead, coach.
and one
Please.
and one of the biggest things that my son is going through right now, here he is, averaging 20 something in high school, to now he's got to be a facilitator. And he don't understand why the coach is fussing at him about the shot that was taken. My play efficiency was such and such, it was the highest, but you're not understanding like your roles change and like, and you seen everybody else get to go off, and then like, man, that must be nice, you know what I'm saying? And like egos and everything, like you'll never truly understand.
I feel like y'all are kind of assuming here.
Yeah, like we called each other beforehand or something.
I feel like y'all are really assuming because my thing
But
is,
I'm gonna say this too. You were supposed to get it. Because
Yeah.
I remember that like when we played, we couldn't do nothing with you. So you was good, right? Like it was almost a bucket every time. So you were supposed to get it. Like I'm not saying, cause that's how Big Baby is now. Like Big Baby is 6 foot, 300 pounds. That's why I call him Big Baby. Like it's not, he can't jump over a phone book, but you cannot block him. He's strong and like he can move. So we get a ball to like, I want Big Baby to get the ball, but I also want Big Baby to be humble enough to know that this position or what he's doing is not, it's above. Like I need you to be something other than like just give you the ball.
and I just want him to understand that, like you said, as far as feeling like we are on the same level or still having that grind. I'll say one thing with Coach Bates.
Oh, you grind, yeah.
It was never.
You got your grind though.
Practice was a even playing field. It was even across the board. You know what I'm saying?
But you knew at the end of the practice what you was going to reward you're going to get out of this.
Yeah. Now, and I'll tell you this: I have never understood. Maybe this is something y'all can answer. This is a mental question too. I have never understood, in which I guess you kind of answered because you said you didn't want to give up that opportunity, but I have never understood because the stuff that we have to do as athletes and, getting in shape, all that, to do it, not knowing if I'm going to play, nah.
See, and that's kind of, and that's the thing. If we had a bunch of personality that was like, man, no, I ain't doing that, we wouldn't have a team and you wouldn't have a successful one. So those people that, like I said, trying to make everything where it's like perfectly even, where everybody feels important, because it is, because if we had a room full of alphas, how are you going to make those people connect and play together and like understand a role? Like you knew that if you see my numbers, I'm supposed to get it. What if everybody had that same feeling? Like, how is that going to work? And I'm going to use one of my guys, JJ. He had to play the 5. He's 5'10". We're going like, we're playing 4 or 5'8" basketball. He's going to be against 6-footers, like in the post. And he wasn't the best. He wasn't bad. But he, you know what I'm saying? But he knew I'm going to go out here and take charge. I'm going to do this. Like, you got to have a balance of, like, just because you're a certain caliber of player doesn't mean you're conducive to winning. Like, that might not be what you need to win. So, he could very well have been that guy that was on the bench, but what he brought to the table, like, mentally and attitude-wise, is what put him over the edge and put him in front of people that should have been maybe in front of that was more athletic. I had a kid that was gonna like, that was competing for the spot. The next year, he was scoring, like, averaging 30. So, you mean to tell me I risk 30 points for somebody to score under 10 every game, but did everything else right? So, sometimes you gotta pick your battles wisely as a coach as far as what we think is good, as far as, like, okay, like, I put these scores out here to produce. Sometimes it's it's more to it than just that. Like, and sometimes starters get and understand that that's my spot, and you knew that was your spot. You know what I'm saying? And you knew that you was gonna get the opportunity to mess up several times before this other person did. And that's the hardest thing. Like, how do you like? I try my best to like. Some people might not think so, especially parents. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
because
saying?
I was just like, how do you regulate that?
You do
Ain't it,
have a
you know what I'm
risk
saying?
versus reward. It's always a risk versus reward. It's I can't deny that. Cause it's like when Richard played for me, I know he's gonna do some wild stuff at times, but I know he's gonna turn around and make 6 plays in a row after that. So that you gotta allow to mess up. So I get what you're saying there. But accountability with it's a little bit different with girls and boys. Accountability, man. I just had how I think you asked me like how do you fix that? And especially with parents. And I think you start at the root of it with the parents. I had a parent meeting last night. And I told them, I said, yeah, we are raising young men. And if we're treating them this way, they're gonna be what kind of adult man? Like I said, they're no longer in 8th grade. They can communicate with me. You shouldn't be telling me that little Johnny's sick. And Johnny got my number. He can like the biggest thing is like let the parents understand what we're trying to do collectively. Because most parents want their young men to be young men. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta let them know that we're on the same page. And with the parent meeting, I'm like, when we're selling this stuff, like, it's their obligation to do this, not yours. Like, okay, help them because we got to fundraise, but let them do some work to understand that everything's not given to them and everything. Like, let's get rid of the sense of entitlement. And I think sometimes when parents see that you have the same mindset, like, but you got to make everything match up with that because as soon as it don't look the same on the court, somebody's gonna be mad and somebody's gonna let you know. Or they might not let you know, but it'll get passed on down that somebody's upset. Um, but being a coach is one of the hardest things ever because no matter what you do, when you go home, uh, you're not liked by somebody. When you love their kid, and then I told my parents this last night. I said, please, if you have an issue with me, please don't say it in front of them. Like, come to me because it makes it awkward because now the kid think I'm mad at them because of something that happened between us, and I go straight to the
Yeah.
player. And usually it starts at the very beginning of practice because you can see the nervousness. Kids are kids. Like you can, especially that they're by themselves. Like I don't care who you are. Like there's not very many young men that's 13, 14, 15 think put on this show of like I'm good. You gonna see that nervousness. Like man, mama and dad and coach had words. I was like, you can see it. Well, I know how to read it. So the first thing I do is I bring them straight to me. Look, whatever happened with your mom and me has nothing to do with you. I still love you the same. I still feel the same way about you. If you want a place, I'm not gonna do it because of whatever's going on. It's not gonna affect anything. You still gotta earn it. So I try to dress it early and often. Like, hey, look, The next time we got an issue, you just come to me and we'll talk about it and we can leave it off so we don't have to feel this way. Because I don't want them feeling that way. Like, cause it's easy to feel like, man, coach is against me or cause some kids believe the last thing they heard. I can say, man, I love y'all, man. We're gonna blah, this is how I feel about you. Man, coach, man, cool. Like, then they go home. Coach, he said he was gonna do this and this and this, and that's the last thing they heard is when they was at home. And that's why I said like the best teams I had has been the best parent group that was like all bought in. Like it was crazy. The best teams has the players bought in and also has the parents that's alone. Of course you're gonna have one or two, but if you got the one that's bought in outnumbered, the ones that like it's gonna work out for you.
So let me ask you: have you ever experienced? Because I know you said you had more with the culmination of good parents and supportive parents and good players.
Mhm.
Have you ever had it where the parents, it was the opposite? You had more parents that were not buying in.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Um, the good thing that I had in my back pocket is before I got there, I was already in, let's say in Pontotoc. Like, we was winning in Ashland, so I had that.
You kind of had already built a name
We
before you got there.
we won in junior high. So I went to high, and I was in junior high for 8 years. So when I went to high school, we won and won and won. Like so, I don't care what you say. Winning kind of they're not gonna like the situation. That is gonna well, he got his picks, and that is gonna go on. But if you're losing and going through that and trying to hang with some of the ones that as you would say, the ones that's gonna produce, what you need. Um, it's different then because then people feel like they have the say so to do more, or say more. And I've learned this: the longer you're at an establishment or at a school, people feel like they have the open door policy to come to you and say whatever because hey, I know I'm gonna go talk to him. And I just recently started doing this, and wasn't because of a loss or the parents doing this. I said, man, I'm going out here straight after a game, and we're laughing and shaking hands. And I know that if it was the other way around, some may not feel the same way. So instead of me going out here and being happy, about this win or whatever, like I'll stay in my office and just sit there and like just kind of meditate and just gather my thoughts and let people kind of trickle out and then come out. Some games I want to come out to, but I learned like let them have that for the time being and um don't get caught up in the hype because people change up every day. And some, I'm gonna say this, some might not do it intentionally. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you this: when you got kids, man, your kids is your number one priority. And I want you to think about this. Take sports out of it. How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking? Or do you care to say? They say, are you in your 30s?
28.
All right.
Damn.
All right. You are 28 years old.
Sir, relax.
Please.
Because we're a year apart. So it's
All right. So you're 28. And right now, Jackie will tear this studio down if somebody mistreat her baby.
Yes, but I'll come back with another answer after me. Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is, we all look at our kids with rose-colored glasses. We're all going to fight tooth and nail for them. No, I know your mom, and I also know that she gonna hold you accountable. Like, no, you was wrong for that. You shouldn't have
Right.
did. You could have handled that better
Right.
and all that. But my mom is the same way, and I'm 45 years old.
Yeah, I know.
But guess what? You ain't gonna mess with me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like I'm still the
Yeah.
number one priority.
Right.
So it's like, if my mom can be like that about me at 45, could you imagine what she was like at me at 13, 14?
And I get what you're saying, and now this is me asking both of y'all as parents and also you as a coach, though. When when you sign kids up for sports, though,
Mm.
and you put them on a team with, coaches and this, that, and the third, like you discussed with my mama, will my mama fight tooth and nail for me? Yes. Going to hell back? For sure. But, like, I think my issue is the way parents react in my mind don't match up with something my mama would go
Right.
to hell and back about. You know what I'm saying? Because,
That's
like,
true.
are there things that Coach Bates and them may have done or said or whatever that she might not have agreed with for the game, or
Mhm.
even like you said, felt like was unfair to me as her baby?
Mhm.
Yes. Was her reaction,
The same, no.
you know what I'm saying?
But you gotta understand this. We're dealing with a different time, for one. And just think 10 years removed from high school, things have changed in a decade.
Drastically.
So you gotta look at me being 2 decades. I've seen a lot of different changes. And a lot of it has to be with either the parent or afraid to see their kid fail and try to stop it before it happens. Um, that I want them to have to go through anything that might hurt their feelings. My babies don't like it because they're sitting up,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, I get it. So that's why I'm able to name off on
Help me get it. Help me get that. Help me as a coach understand that, because
that. See,
it's not that I don't understand it. Help me understand how, cause help me understand how that justifies you crossing boundaries, if that makes sense.
you gotta learn how to um hear them. And now I'm gonna say this. Now, Ashton, I was very opinionated in what I had to say back, and sometimes probably abrasive.
Mhm.
So people either got to the point where they didn't ask me anything, or they just ready to just go to battle with me when they come.
My question is, how in this new era, why is it that parents feel like as coaches we gotta keep this professionalism, this perfection, this equity, etc., 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 etc. But you can come in here and, in the words of Miss Peterson, show your apples and bananas anytime you
I'm gonna
want
use
to.
that.
Yeah, anytime you want to.
uh, I don't know. It's a little bit different. It's not all, but it's some that has that demeanor. I've been there, and so I try to make myself personable. But then when it's game time, I don't. If we won a loss, like you don't want to talk about that, especially a loss after a game or playing time, after a big win or a bad loss. Like this is just not the appropriate time, and and sometimes I try to give the rule like if you want to talk, we can talk, but it has to be 24 hours or like get some type of stipulation so that if you are heated, sometimes when you get a chance to like come on, like, you're not as mad as a parent afterwards. So sometimes that helps out with the conflict of it, I guess you would say. And but I've been lucky to have a lot of parents that's behind me. I've had some. I had one to come and apologize. Like, you apologize to your teammates. I had one to apologize. She's like, I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't have did some of the things. And I said it because I got him an opportunity to play in college and he didn't even want to play. Like, so it's like, she's like, I'm sorry. Now, I shouldn't have did some of the things I said something, but the good thing, one thing about me, I don't hold grudges. Yeah, I don't hold grudges too much. Now I'm gonna remember, but
I remember everything.
yeah, but I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna like constantly like just push you away. Like you gotta do something real crazy for me to like, you know what? I love your kid. I want to deal with him and him only. Yeah, it's gotta be totally out the way.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Can you uh can you give me some advice, as a young father that, you know, that you wish somebody would have told you, as you was going through it?
It's several things, man.
I'm all ears for everything.
It's okay to be emotional because I've got to the point now, I don't even know if I know how to cry. You know what I'm saying? And, because, we're taught to be this stonewall
Detached from my feelings.
uh,
Yeah.
because you're sassy and all that, right? And,
Mhm.
and I would say that being a father, like be as affectionate as you possibly can with your son. That's not going to make him soft.
That's what
How you raise him is what's
I
going to make
make
him
I
soft.
make it a fact to make sure I let him know, man, I love you.
Yeah.
Because like
I mean, I can call Zane right now and get off the phone, and he will say, "All right, Papa, love you."
yeah.
And it's okay to hug your son and kiss your son. Like, everything's about, man, you kissing on no, man, that's not going to make him any type of way than what he is. Like, affection is never, or make him being feel a certain way has never hurt anyone. And I'm pretty sure you can look back on some past experience in life and just wish you had a hug at certain times. Not, what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna say. I mean, like mothers are nurturers. Sometimes you wish you had that male figure just to like come in, let me give you a hug, man. I just feel like you need it.
Man, my
And,
granddaddy was rough, so
yeah, and
yeah,
I'm telling you, that like it's a different feeling when, and I ain't trying to sound like but it's a different feeling when a man can come and like embrace you and like tell you like I see you, I understand. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference. Like your mother's always gonna be the nurturer. Like you've had that, like not to take it for granted. I just had the same talk with my son, and I haven't seen him in a while, right? And I always say I'm not gonna guilt my kids into like coming to see me. Like I ain't seen you, you know what I'm saying? When I'm putting that
I
money in that account,
I was gonna say that's most dads. That's how they say, "I love you, I miss you." I ain't heard from you in a
but
minute.
but you know what? I had to learn how to just say it. Like I'm not gonna guilt it. But what I started doing, like I'm gonna give you the example of the last thing. Like he played this past Sunday. Nobody knew. He was all the way in Illinois playing, and like he really didn't. We didn't know the times. Like everybody trying to scramble. Like, and I had been calling him all that week. And I was getting voicemails and phones is dead, and I'm texting. I'm not getting anything. Last time I talked to him was like, I don't know. I think we played Friday or Saturday. I don't know. I'll let you know. And they played on a Sunday. So I finally called him on a Monday. And I'm like, and then beforehand, it'll be more like authoritative, like, what you got going on? I need to know this, and I said, son, I said, do you not want me to support you anymore? He's like, no, why would you say that? I don't know. I said, like, it's like, I don't see you. I said, I miss you. I don't get a chance to see you like I used to. I don't, you might go by your mom. I said, it's been July since I seen you. And I said, and it bothers me. And I said, I don't think it would hurt. It's just like I just need this time with you at times. So I ain't like you can do something. I can whoop you. Like we're past the whooping stage. I said I'm here to guide you through like manhood right now. This is where you're at. You're going through different things. Even like with basketball, even with basketball right now, what you're going through, I'm not your coach no more. I get to talk to you just man to man, like father, like, well, this is what you need. Like, let's try to handle it this way. This is probably the best bet to try to do it. I can talk to you on a whole different level now about anything. And I'm like, so why do you feel like, man, I just don't be thinking? I'm like, well, you need to. But now I do push the issue like you need to call your mom and your granny every day. I say, us fathers, we get pushed to the side a lot sometimes. But that doesn't mean that we don't have like feelings like and I have to tell like, man, I just miss you, man. When before it's like you can't come over here, sometimes, blah, blah. No, sometimes, someone needs to be known that they're missed, or that they're wanted. Um, because like we had the dynamic, Zane stayed with me throughout the week, and he stayed with his mom on the weekends just for the school. And I knew eventually he was gonna be playing for me, and I wanted him at Ripley, where I went to school at. I wanted him there. So, we just had the agreement, this is what we're gonna do, you know. And and it's like, man, I've had you since 2 or 3, and we went from that to nothing, to nothing. That you can't call, like, anytime when I get a call, it's, "Hey, Pop." Like, "Oh, okay, what you want?" You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? And I really like, and I didn't meet my real dad physically until I was 38 years old, my biological father. And it's like I wanted more, and I want more on another level, especially at the age he's at now. Like, we've been through the hard part of like the raising and rearing and all that. Like, yeah. And it also makes me think, like, when I get old and like can't do something for myself, like, this is what it's gonna be. This is me by my, like, he don't understand that I'm thinking this way, because like we was talking earlier, we're getting to ages now that we're seeing our peers, classmates go through things health wise, deaths, early deaths. Like, when I
Tomorrow's not
it's
promised.
not, it's not. We don't have a date we can look at and say, okay, I still got 16 more weeks. Like, and it's like, he don't understand it yet, because he's at the age where he's yeah, investment, and he just living. You know what I'm saying? What he's doing right now is important. And that's it. And then right now to me, he's been working his tail off to try to get where he wants to with college basketball. And I'm proud of him for it. But it's like, I don't require much. Just give me a look. Just go fishing with me for like an hour.
So do you feel like due to you raising him to be that soldier and that what's next mentality, that this is kinda the back end of that?
I did. I did some of it. And the emotional is not thinking of nothing but what's in front. I I did do that, and he'll get it later, because he's very bright, and he's emotionally intelligent, but he can't express it. And I've actually told him, I hate that I did some of the things. Not like I've abused him, but it's like I wish I could have been more affectionate at times, because he didn't get it from his biological mother through the week. He had to wait till the weekend and go. Like, not saying that he was being mistreated, but every boy
Them,
craves that
them boys, they get over on them.
yeah, they crave that too.
They
They
able
do,
to, because
but
I've seen it firsthand
you got
too.
to think about this. Like, if he's there and I being the authoritative, like, figure, and you get that all week long. Like, you want, you ready to go. You ready to go. You ready to go. Like, tomorrow, when is mama? Is she not on her way yet? You know what I'm saying?
That's how he is.
And I wish I would have balanced it a little bit better. Like, I wasn't no pumpkin patch. Like, yeah, he's going, but I'm not taking him. Like, okay, go ahead and go with. No, I'm not going to that. I'm not going to no fair. Like, but we can go here and work out. We can go over here. We can do these things, and I'm gonna be at this basketball game. I'm gonna be at this. When you're doing all this other, I'm gonna be at all this stuff. Like, I'm not missed out on that, but I missed out on some maybe the fun stuff that I should have been a part of. I just never liked it. I won't be around these people. I just rather just be like, just let me chill.
Yeah. Like, I get where you coming from, and like not going to like pumpkin patches, because that's how it was when Easton was first born. I was like, man, I don't want to do that. But then
You got
I
to.
just had a moment where I was like, he ain't gonna be your little boy forever. Because at one point, I know he gonna be standing on his own 2 feet. So now I cherish that moment. We was able to go to Florida. I loved it. We got a pumpkin patch date this weekend.
Right,
So like
right.
yeah.
Right.
If you could say something to coaches and parents about how important the mental health and the mental stability of these kids is, what would you say?
I would say what we all do is important. Um, what a lot of parents don't understand is sometimes we hear the things that they don't know, and we have to keep it confidential between each other. And we're also all on the same team. Like we both want their kid to prosper, not just in basketball, but we want. I said this last night. I want to see them be productive young men, and that's the most important thing out of this that sports is able to give us. It gives us discipline. It gives us all these different avenues of what we need to sustain and be successful in life. And parents need to understand sometimes that I'm not against them or uh, pro some other kid more than theirs. It's like that's just the way that the makeup of a basketball team. The Royal Clock we were talking about earlier. It's life. You're gonna have your haves. You're gonna have your have-nots. You're gonna have your people that have it made a little bit more easier or their road a little bit more easy, and you're gonna have some that's gonna have to grind it a little bit more to prove that they can do it. That's the whole makeup of a team is the makeup of the blueprint of life to a certain extent. It's more to it, but it's the basis of what post-secondary uh, life is. Once you graduate high school, this is what it is. It's sometimes we gotta realize it's not what we know, it's what they know. And what we think they know, sometimes they don't. So I try to I ask them, why do y'all think we're doing this? Or what is this simulating? Or what I'm always asking them that so they can try to apply it to real life and understand, okay, this is where I'm at too, as far as my ability level or my shoot. Like if we're doing, we got a drill called Make Two. You got 2 minutes, you got to make shots in every spot, 5 spots around the three. And I said, we've had guys in 2 minutes who can go to the corner, come back, go back to the corner and come back. Would you think they're a green light shooter? Yes. I said, some of y'all can't get over there and back to the top, So put some of this stuff in perspective. Like if you can't say you're a shooter and if you can't do some of these things with no defense and you just got the repetition of shooting. So if you can't, what are you gonna do to fix some of this stuff? Like some things have to be like self-assessments for them. We need to put it out there. It was time I talked to the parents. She was like, I'm glad you did this. Like you got good parents that's gonna tell you, he just gonna we scrimmage, he's just gonna jump out there. I said, what are you doing? From the scrimmage. I said, yeah, prove you. I said, you getting complacent and you just think you just gonna jump out here and do whatever. I got a freshman. I said, play that freshman. Freshman beat him. I said, do you think you deserve to be out here? I said, no, sir. I said, well, move out the way until you're able to do that. I said, quit just walking out here and this thing, something is yours when you haven't cared and haven't done anything prior to prove that. I said, what you think this freshman gonna do as the years go and you're older than him? Get better. I said, so you better do something real quick because it's not like he's gonna go decline. Hopefully, I hope. It's not like he's gonna decline anytime soon.
When it comes to you expressing to them, how do you navigate expressing to them in the right manner per so many different personalities?
Trying to get to know everybody's personalities to start out with, and that's hard. And to be honest, you're gonna mess up. It's there's no way that you can navigate through somebody's mental and know what's going on inside his head, your head. Like you're gonna mess up as a coach. There's no way that I can sit there and look you and honestly tell you, yeah, I got it right every single time the way I approached him. I didn't. And I know I didn't. Does it affect me? Yeah. But do I also know that There's no possible way I could be perfect with that. I also know that. Um, have I been like you at times and say, "Hey, you know what? I was wrong for the way how I handled that." I have done that, but it still might not take away from how things initially like that. Like I said, people always gonna remember how you treated them, and sometimes it can be lost for life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sometimes it might be something that's not big to you, and it's humongous. Like this is the end, like the end of the world for them for that day, and you can miss it. And I try my best to be with it and like be in tune with everything, but I know that I've missed some opportunities. I know that it's probably been some times that I was going through my own stuff, and it's like, man, I ain't gonna deal with that today. Just go on. Have I said some harsh stuff? Yeah, it's like crazy. And but even with all this harsh and abrasive and crazy things that I've said, I still can go ahead and tell my boys I love them, and they can say it back, and I can say it, and they know that I mean it. This ain't no placebo. I love you, like you know what I'm saying. Like they know it's coming from the heart. Whether you want to accept it or not, once you become a coach or certain positions, whether you want to accept the role or certain things that comes along with it, it's in your lap. It is. No matter how far fetched some things may be, whether you're a therapist today, you're a physical therapist this day, or you gotta understand too, in the same sense, that is a what's the word I'm looking for? If a kid look that think that you are this strong and all that, that's something we gotta be thankful for too. Even though we can't handle some of these things or we try, we doggy paddle through as much as we can. Like if a kid trusts you enough to go come to you and put some of the stuff out there, again, like I said earlier, somebody's thinking more of you than you think of yourself. And sometimes you have to like take a step back and realize it yourself, like that fear over faith stuff and like fear of failure, like we're more than what we think we are at times when it comes to that aspect of it. And I think more on that side of it than I do. Like, of course, I want to win. And I still want to win Pontotoc High School a championship, something that hasn't been done. Like, that's one of my goals. But I also understand the bigger goal is if I can take care of some of the other stuff, some of the other things will just follow with it.
When it comes to you dealing with that mentally and emotionally, when you realize it's not just basketball anymore, it's the politics, it's the X's and O's, it's
Hmm.
the relationships, all this different stuff. How does Tip keep this intact?
Who say I do?
Hmm.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be as real as I possibly can right now. It's been moments in life. Have you ever made yourself so numb to things that, like I said, I don't know if I know how to cry at this point. And and you ask like, how do I do it? Sometimes I'm not doing well with it. What I've always had is the ability to mask and compartmentalize everything. And just because I'm compartmentalizing everything doesn't mean that I'm winning at this particular thing. Uh, I've had moments where I'm sitting there, and then I got this thing where I go home. I don't want to bring work from home. I rarely talk about it. So you got your personal life and your work life all brewing inside, and you're not really releasing any of this stuff off. So a lot of times it ends up with a meltdown of some sort at some point. And with me, it's not necessarily I'm gonna have a meltdown where I'm some here crying. I'm just gonna have this aggressive meltdown over something that does not even matter. You know what I'm saying? It does not matter, and this is what I just choose to take it out on at this time, and I'm still struggling with that now, honestly, and what I've been better about is, like, being more truthful about it. When before, I'd just sit here and give you a great answer that sounds good, and, honestly, as coaches, like, a lot of us, was damaged goods too, you know? And, I've had some talk with other coaches. I'm like, man, I've never like I've made the statement. I was like, I would never do anything to harm myself. I was like, but I can see where people have gotten weak enough to do that. Like, I get it. I never say I don't see why would somebody do like I get it. You know what I'm saying? Life can life you. But like I said, it'd be something I would never do. But I'd have been in some low places where it's like, man, I wish they wouldn't have did that. But man, I I I get it, and then it's crazy that like success and what other people think and what your kid like none of that matters in the grand scheme of things of when thing builds up and like you think you having a low. It's never not been one time that I had the worst day ever and a low day, and I sit there and say, you know what, man, I won some state championships. I don't even wear my rings. That's the last thing I worry about when it comes to like when I'm having like rough. It's days where I don't want to get out of bed. Like it's days where I'm gonna be stupid busy just because this is what I need to do. Just I'm be hyper busy, and there's days where I cannot do nothing. So you might look on on social media and look, I done did 30 things in one day. You know what I mean? And I probably did half of them. And yeah, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna come to where like I just do all these things to keep busy. Just like I was like, I feel for my youngest son. Like he's number. I just want to be able to have a conversation with him. Something as simple as that. That could be the the hurt for the day. The next hurt could be like, man, I like to have both my like all the kids. Where are all the kids? Like the kids ain't here no more. Like where everybody at? Empty nest syndrome. I guess you know what I'm saying. And it goes from there to where I guess I'm I'm not any better than as long as I can just put some money in the account. That's all I'm worth. I'm not worth being seen about. But I'll see about every single person that I possibly can. Strangers. A stranger can like, I can lend out you this or that, and a stranger can get something and still mess over me, and I still have the heart and compassion to do it all over again, knowing that the last person that I helped just screwed me over, and I was just like, I guess I'm the joke, but I still can turn around and do it again, and do it again, and do it again just for some to say, "Man, he's a good dude," and for some to say, "It's fake, I'm doing it for the cloud, or for some to see it as a ticket. I'm just gonna bump his head and get what I want for the time being. Um, and I've been all three of those things, and I think the the strive to be a good person is so complex that it's hard to even know where to start at when it in the grand scheme of things. Like, okay, I can help this person, and then when it's time that I need help, I don't even know how to even ask. And then I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna be everything I can for those young men. And I don't have anything left, but I'm still going in there and being everything that I'm not and go home and have nothing left. Sometimes not for my own, not for myself, and where I don't even want to talk. I don't say a word. And that's as real as I can be about that situation. And somebody from the outside can look at it and think, man, he got everything together. And the whole time I'm struggling just like the next person.
Do you feel like compartmentalism is conducive to your mental health, though?
It's not, but that's how I've done things since I was a kid. When things didn't go right, I learned how to put this to the side and put this smile on and be the upbeat dude that could crack jokes to make you laugh and get things done or not get things done or figure out a way to around it to get it done.
Is that something you wanna change?
um, I think first is like recognizing it. You have to recognize something before you can change it. And I think I have changed a lot. Like a lot of things was worse where this would probably wouldn't be talked about, especially not in a setting to where whoever can see it, the access of to, whoever can see it. But I think that's another thing with age thing. I'm big on like you can't fix something until you know put it out there. But it's gonna be a hard thing to break because it's a long time to do certain things. But my thing is right now is to strive to be a better version every day. And will we stumble back sometime? Yeah, we will. But my goal is to be better than I was yesterday and try to fix some of the things that I pass along to maybe like my sons or whoever I've been around. Because I'm pretty sure, just like you said, you live long enough, you're gonna be the villain in somebody's story. And I'm pretty sure I haven't been. Uh, Last thing, talking to Zane, and I was like, pretty much talking about the being a villain in somebody's story. And I said, I've been, the villain, I've been a superhero, and then both of them are right. And he's like, how was that? Why? I said, because everybody has an opinion of you. And some opinions are skewed and maybe not true, but some is in the interaction that you've had with somebody. And whatever your interaction with that particular person is, that's their version of you. That's their version of it. Like what you might be, man, yes, that's a solid guy. Or man, who he think he talk to me like that, what I'm saying? It could be either way. And it took me a long time to like I always wanted to be like the superhero, the good guy. And it took me a long time to understand that in every every Marvel movie, the good guy, the villain's always the good guy first. Before he turn to a villain. And it's okay if some people think I am the villain, or it's okay if they have this perspective of me. I can't control every aspect of everybody's opinion. I can only try to move in the best interest that I possibly can and hope that I leave a positive foot trail somewhere. And if not, I I can't keep trying to go back and erase those footprints and trying to draw all over for that person. I just gotta just keep moving forward and hope that I have more positive footprints than negative. Right. So um yeah, that's kinda it right there.
I do want to say we appreciate you coming through, Coach.
Yeah,
For sure.
Good
yeah,
luck on your season.
November the
Yeah,
1st. So
yeah.
you got to hurry up and push this stuff out so everybody can come to the game on November the 1st. Jamboree at Pontotoc High School. Tupelo, where's your...
Hold on, wait. Hold on. Let's go back. Cause now we do give you this your opportunity right here. Cause your first one you try to be humble. So maybe on this one you won't be. Your opportunity before we get out here to talk your talk. Like you said, anything you want us to know about Pontotoc, anything we need to know about that bleeding of that gold, anything you want us to know before we get out here about Tip or that what Tip got going on, let us know.
All right.
I think he feeling this one. The way he said, "All right, yeah, this one it, this one it."
Yeah, you gonna be modest and political.
One thing that
I tried
Bring
to,
the Ashland.
look, I tried to hype him up.
Bring the Ashland.
Hey man, I need me some little Egypt. Give me some
Come on.
cross the river
Bring
over
the
here. You know
Ashland
what I'm
now. I
saying?
don't want no politic answer. I want that
You know what I'm
Ashland
saying?
talk. Come on,
one
give
thing
it
I've
to me.
learned is that it's not what you say about yourself. It's about what you can like prove. So instead of me popping my own stuff, just Google my name and you can find out.
Hey.
That's the
That's
hardest
it
talk.
right there.
I
Hey.
wish I had one of them DJ, but
Hey, okay.
That's
Yeah.
it right there.
That's it right there.
Just
my
Google
name.
him.
Just
And
Google my
we
name.
mean on the real Google, all you got to do is put it in there.
Yeah,
You could just put that man's last name in there.
Tipler.
Bam, it's coming up. Bam.
So I don't have to say it. You can see it.
Hey,
For sure that.
that's the coldest
I
Tokyo
don't gotta
talk.
say it, you can see it.
Yeah.
That's the coldest Tokyo talk
hear me?
moment so
That's
far.
it.
Hey.
I'm a firm believer in it though. Like let stats, numbers, all that stuff don't lie. We can.
For sure that. That's what Gotti said. Men lie, women lie.
Right.
Numbers don't.
And we talked about opinions. Opinions are not facts.
Exactly.
So I could say this and another, and it's the opinion. Like, oh man, he talked this. That sound good. But Google me, and you can see whatever you need to say.
And there you
Hold
go
on, let me
right
take my
there.
glasses off.
Yeah.
Well, coach glasses.
Our glasses.
A thorn in my side. So yeah, Google.
And a bucket in his eye.
He running out now.
Hey, and you know, but before we get out of here, because you've seen both of them, this way we can end this argument here with you.
Okay.
Tae said that in order for them to beat the team that y'all had, that the game plan...
Go ahead.
The game plan would be for him to lock down Tip.
You can do it.
No, that wasn't a game plan.
That's what you said. Let's run it back.
You
Somebody
said.
No, I said the question was, and I quote, the question was, what should your coach do? What adjustment should he make for y'all to win that game? And we said defensively, what adjustment is that? And we said, who should guard Tip?
Mm-hmm.
You said in the coach's eyes or in my eyes? I said in totality for y'all to win the game, who was doing it? And your answer was me.
I said, she not giving the whole content.
I feel like I just said the whole in the conversation.
I said, Tip is gonna get his, but
that was on the back end.
I would make him work for it. I feel like
they don't change the score, do it.
I'm gonna tell you this, and
he was. Hey, that man was. I give Tipler all his credit.
He averaged 30 points.
Yes, man was a bucket.
My thing is, and this is no knock on you because we both short. We talked about that. He's going to shoot over top of you all night long because 6-footers was guarding him all the time. So you weren't going to have you going to have the quickness to get under him, but he's still going to have the ball handling skills to handle the offset your quickness. And somebody that can shoot it from anywhere, who's going to be at more of an advantage? The offensive person or the defensive person? Because if I can get you going one direction, like we was talking about Ishmael, and you can just pull up, and he can shoot from all three, get from all three levels and score, it's going to be hard. And then, okay, and I always say this, Tipler was the show, Richard was the go. Who's going to guard Richard? Who also thrived off defense. We had a 5'10" center who could just score double digits. Who gonna guard Quavy, who was just gonna run all night long and did not stop. It was just too much. Man, player for player, it wasn't enough. And y'all was really, really good. I'm gonna say it again. And condition-wise, we ran 60 minutes before we even practiced. So that's why 6 people only played, and we was able to do what we did with 6 people and not get tired and still play the same exact way the whole entire time. Where somebody was not going on whoever's team was not going to be able to score and play defense.
I don't think Coach Mason had y'all out there running for 60 minutes.
I mean, I'm still going to roll with my guys. You know what I'm saying?
You're supposed to.
Who said that?
But what I'm saying is, who's going to be able to score 30, and hold a player under 10
Not Blue Mountain.
on your team?
Not Blue Mountain.
You got some, you know what I'm saying?
And then on
Oh,
our
now
team,
he right.
No, listen.
we're gonna have 5 players. Just think about it, like Rod, our point guard, he's gonna be able to score double digits and get his.
Oh my God. I said the same. Go run it back. But keep
You
going.
did,
Keep going.
but like,
Keep
you know what
going,
I'm saying?
keep going,
I'm still gonna
And
ride
then
with my
we're gonna
guys
have
regardless.
Quave, if he's just gonna run the floor all night, get double digits and rebound everything. You're gonna have Jawan, who is just gonna for some reason just guard any big and keep them
That was y'all center with the dreads.
yeah.
I hated him. He took so many charges.
He took
Oh
over
my
70
God,
charges
bruh.
in 1 year by himself.
He got me with 3 in one game. I was
And sit you down.
pissed.
Like,
I was pissed.
And
Yeah, that was that defensive end of the floor I was talking about.
Shut up, Jada.
My
and
bad.
this thing about it is like,
Sorry.
we can score 90. What can you do to keep up scoring 90? But we can keep you from scoring, but whatever. Like, one person might get off, but not the whole team gonna get off.
I could have sworn I said they can't. That's running back. They
Or
can't
maybe
guard
2.
y'all.
I might say even 2 might do decent, but
They can't
it wasn't gonna
guard
be
y'all. That's what I
5.
said. I said they can guard y'all. That's why I told him. I said they can go.
Just think Jawan. Just remember Jawan. Like, this thing, you throw that, he gonna do that little up and under, get up under you, spin off of you, and score around that basket. Like, and Richard is just harassing whoever the best player is, and he loved it.
Harassment.
He loved it.
Loved it.
You know, he thrived off it. Like, if he had a task on defense, that made him better on offense.
Made him better.